Hi, I'm Laura Gwyn, Gail Gwyn Properties, and I'm just going to give a very quick overview of how we are servicing the buyers that we're working with. You may currently be a buyer that is looking to interview realtors for the job. And if you are, please utilize this video and our future training videos on how to win in this competitive low inventory market. I'm sure that you're aware that we only have about 1.5 months worth of inventory on the market right now using solely the active MLS data. And we have a proven system for helping our buyers secure a home with low inventory and competitive offers. You know, they're just always competing. So I'm going to share my screen. This is an informal video, so please just take note. What we're going to cover today is just a quick file review. We're going to cover buyer-broker agreements and why we use them. We also we use an agency form, the agency required pamphlet that we have to give to buyers explaining agency, who we represent, whether it's the buyer, seller, or both. We have a bank-owned disclosure and educational process that we take our buyers through. If you're experienced, it's quick review. If you're new, we educate you on that. We obtain the pre-approval, your proof of funds, and your criteria as soon as you formally interview us and choose to hire us. And then what our buyer specialists and myself, what we're expected to do every day is we review the MLS hot sheets. We're in 2 MLSs. That's the Willamette Valley Multiple Listing System and the Regional Multiple Listing System. We review daily all of the off-market inventory. This would be your for sale by owners, expired listings, terminated listings, past customers, and centers of influence. And to give you an idea, right now in the expired inventory, I have about 1,000 people. My past customers and centers of influence database, I have about 980. And then the for sale by owners right now, including the old ones, we have about 220. And right now on any given day or week, I'm recording this video on March 2nd, 2021. We only have about 12 to 15 for sale by owners in the entire Mid-Willamette Valley at any time right now. That number is very, very low. Not because they're just selling quickly, but because they really are choosing to hire a professional right now. Just because of COVID and the market that we're in, we can be obtaining with correct marketing and exposure with our professional photography, 3D imagery, and video marketing plan. Our listing to launch campaign can result in as much as 15% over list price. So getting the highest volume of people through as quickly and safely, COVID compliantly as possible, and negotiating those offers for them they have found valuable. So there's just not very many for sale by owners right now, but we have them. We also do neighborhood searches regularly, every day. My expectation for my team is that they're doing all of this. Door knocking, door dropping, postcards, letters, phone calls, slide dial, and a text system. We have a system and a process for all of that. And then when we see something of interest, we have a term called cyber stalking. So we cyber stalk, super sleuth. I'm going to show you some of that here in just a second. We look at all the pre-listings. That's the coming soon inventory. I'll show you what that looks like. We look at all the old listings and sales. That's part of our super sleuthing and research phase quickly, because it's a competition. We got to be quick. We dig out all those old rental files online. We talk to neighbors. You'd just be surprised how easy it is to talk to neighbors and gather information, but you know, that's just what we do. Most people, they're like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. But just realize that this is what we do. This is what we do all day, every day. It's really easy for us. We drive areas. We search crime reports, school reports, flood reports. We can't base searches based on crime, but you know, we might say to you, this isn't an area that you described, or this isn't a home that you described. I mean, there will be some kind of indication that we may know something that you don't, or that we can't disclose. But we do it in a way that we won't get in trouble. With that said, do not expect for us to search based on crime. You have to do your own research. We network and talk to every realtor that we can. This is written to my buyer's agents. You know, talk to every realtor that they can about off-market and coming soon inventory. Networking is everything in this business. Having good working relationships with realtor to realtor, peer to peer is very, very important. As soon as you choose us and hire us formally, you'll be signing the buyer broker forms, which I'm going to go over here. And then we're going to obtain your name, address, mobile or text number, home number if you have one, if you have a landline, email address, because we use DocuSign and we do everything via Zoom because of COVID. We need your lender. And then if you have any cash that you're paying, if you're paying cash, we need proof of funds. So you're going to screenshot your bank account and then edit just, you know, save it as a photo and then use the little edit feature and then just blacken out your account number. Usually you're only going to see the last four, but we still like those removed as well. We just like to know lender, search criteria. And when we say search criteria, the typical is beds, baths, square feet, minimum and maximum. Do you want a flat or a sloped lot? Do you know the pros and cons of each? The size of lot, you know, everybody wants a large lot or a tiny lot. If you could give us any kind of, like, if we can show you an example and then you can give us a number to search by, that is helpful. If you have a preference for gas or electric heat, you know, forced air, does it have to have air conditioning, or are you willing to put in AC if you get a house and you get it for the right price? Fence, can we help you install a fence, or does it have to have the fence already there? You're really buying location more than anything. So think about structure, size of lot, and location. Everything else can be fixed for the right price. If you can help narrow down by schools and area versus talking about crime, you know, you can't tell us, oh, we need a safe neighborhood. We can't work like that. It's against the law. Once you've interviewed us, we schedule a Zoom appointment. You interview us formally. We have, you know, the 12 most common questions, or you can ask us your own. We'll review a buyer broker agreement. And the reason why we have to have this is so that we can formally take this signed buyer broker agreement to sellers that are not in MLS and show them, yes, I have a real buyer. Because so oftentimes I don't want to say they're being lied to, but that's really the best way to describe it and to kind of have you relate. Their guard is up. They don't trust salespeople. When I walk in with a complete file with a signed buyer broker agreement showing that I have a buyer that has formally hired me, here's their criteria, here's their pre-approval, this is what we're looking for, can I just quickly preview your home? They always let me in. All the guard goes down. They'll tell me everything. They'll tell me what they owe, how much they need to net, everything about the house, the neighborhood, everything. It's just, it works beautifully. That's why you really want to do your due diligence, interview realtors to find the best one, hire them formally, have a complete file, and have everything detailed. So we use the standard OREF buyer broker agreement. This is just a standard agreement. We just really make up a date for the expiration date. We really don't use that verbatim. I mean, we check this box here on line 18. Either party can terminate this agreement with written notice to the other party without any further obligations. If you're not happy or I'm not happy, we need to part ways, because we work harder for our Zillow reviews and online reviews, Google reviews, Those are more important to us than the commission check. With that said, we do get paid 3%. We have to get paid 3% because of the work and time and effort that we put into finding property. We work hard, long hours, often. We accrue expenses. Postcards are, 52 cents each. It doesn't seem like much, but every postcard and neighborhood search that we do, it's going to be $250 a mailing minimum because of the number that we do. And then we're accruing all of those expenses up front. It costs me about $4,500 per transaction at closing. We only get paid upon the successful completion of a transaction. So all of the work that we do for you is free. I'm accruing expenses on everything until you're successful. We don't pressure you to buy, but we do screen buyers well. We only work with a handful because we offer very personalized service. So we take no money up front. We only get paid at closing. That's why we're really firm on that 3%. And we really don't have people ever complain about that. Our clients are all very, very happy. And with that said, then the next form that we go through is the agency form. This is the form that we're going to review with you, showing that we explained agency, and you're going to sign that. And then by law, on the first discussion about real estate, we have to give you this pamphlet. All realtors do. And they have to explain real estate relationships. They work with the seller, the buyer, or both. And so when you get a hold of this pamphlet, you're just, as a buyer, you're going to read through the duties and responsibilities of the buyer's agent. They have to deal honestly in good faith, present all written offers in a timely manner, disclose material facts known by them, whether they're apparent or not, exercise reasonable care and diligence, account in a timely manner for money and property, be loyal, never taking action that's adverse or detrimental to the buyer's interest. We have to disclose in a timely manner to the buyer of any conflict of interest or existing or contemplated. We have to advise for the buyer to seek expert advice if there are any matters beyond our expertise, maintain confidential information, and then unless agreed upon in writing, we have to make a continuous and good faith effort to find a property for the buyer. So we have an obligation to work for you every day, 5 days a week from 8 to 5. Those are our working hours. Some people modify those slightly and they work a slightly later shift, but we're all obligated to work 40 hours a week here at my office. When representing the buyer and seller, like if you came to us and you wanted to buy one of our listings, then we would be representing the buyer and the seller, and we have to get permission from both parties. If either one of you guys say, no, I don't want that, we don't do that where I come from or in my state that I'm used to, then you just have to find another realtor. And that's no problem. We understand that. But in Oregon, we can do dual agency. And how we do that is we have to disclose to the seller the duties listed above, which was the same as the buyers I just read you, to the buyer, the duties I just read you, and then to both the buyer and the seller, except with express written permission of the respective person. We never say if a seller would take a lower price or terms or less favorable than the listed price. And we can never say if a buyer would pay more in price or terms or anything more favorable. And then we have to keep everything confidential. Essentially, we disclose that it's a conflict of interest to all parties, take no action that's adverse or detrimental to either party, and obey lawful instruction of both parties. That is only when we're on both sides, which is extremely rare, very, very rare. Like I can't even name the last time that happened. We do a lot of deals. We also have a bank-owned property form that we just like to give people. There aren't very many bank-owned properties right now. We don't anticipate very many foreclosures or short sales coming on the market because of market demand. We have low inventory, high equity, and high demand. So right now, we just don't have very many bank-owned properties, but we do like for people to read through that and have that education. We work as a team. We use Dropbox, we use spreadsheets, we use Paragon. Here's an example of what we mean by looking for homes before they go on the market. So I just sold this home. This home here was in pre-status. See here where it says active under contract? It was pre-listed. So the public can't see it, but the realtors can. And so I was doing a search for my investor client that lives in Alaska. And they told me what their criteria was, and they hired me formally. And so I just went out and I did that list that I read you on that Word doc there. And I went through all the pre-listings in Central Salem because they were looking in a large territory of Central Salem. And they had all the criteria. I went through all the pre-listings, and then I looked up all the addresses. If you notice, this house has some old listings. So this listing as a pre-listing, it's not, there's 33 photos right here and a virtual tour, but when homes are just going on the market and the realtor puts them under pre-status while they're working on them, getting them fixed up, getting photos, video, all of that, there's no information here. So you have to kind of be a good super sleuther. And so I pulled the old listing and I went through all the old files and I found old listings. And you can do this just by searching the address on MLS. You don't even need a realtor to do it. And then, so you get the idea there. I don't have to spend a lot of time. And then I can tell all the history. I click on the buttons here and I figure out, okay, when did the house ever come on the market? When did it sell? How much? If it expired, why? I just try to gather as much information and intel as I possibly can. I also search by the address with the word rental home. You can do this too. And it's just very, very helpful. You want to try to gather as much intel as you possibly can. And then on this particular one, let's see if I can, I don't want to reveal something that you're not supposed to see, and I'm sharing my desktop. So pretend that you don't see anything. Pretend. I'm going to quickly get out of their names. Don't look. So I wrote an offer, sight unseen. I drove by the property and I wrote an offer absolutely sight unseen. And then what did I put in here to protect the buyer? This particular buyer, I said, seller, can we make this bigger? Where'd that go? Seller to clean up and return the property to the same or similar condition of photos taken before the last tenant per MLS number. And then I listed the MLS number. Install kitchen cupboard doors, because I noticed in the photos they weren't there. Touch up any damage, remove all personal property, stumps, planters, etc. That's because I cyber stalked and, drove around the neighborhood and looked around as much as I could physically without getting caught. Seller to provide any and all information from the previous sewer scope and repairs. I had just gathered intel from talking to the neighbors. I'd heard through the grapevine that there were sewer line repair concerns, and that's why an old tenant moved out. Completed by, let's see, what did I say? Provide the information and repairs completed by their unlicensed contractor father. I heard that through the grapevine, and continue to work towards getting the sewer scope to pass inspection. Okay, so I write an offer, sight unseen, subject to all of my cyber stalking. I put the alternative inspection addendum on here, which we check, that we're getting all those inspections. And then I stipulate the terms that we're going to need up front so the seller knows what our expectation is. And then our plan from there is to not be, you know, asking for a lot of repairs. We'd never check the box for inspections and then go back in and try to renegotiate the sale. That's not good business. Don't ask us to do that. We do everything up front because, like I said, our working relationship with the realtors in our community is really valuable. We don't take their loyalty above yours, but I just want to make sure that you know that it's just very important to have good working practices and be honest and ethical in everything that you do. So I was going to show you this screen to tell you, look for rental homes. And then this just quickly was verifying what I told you guys about the quantity. This was for sale by owners. Right now that we've got about 200. I prove everything I say. That's the other thing you're going to learn about me, is I prove everything. Oh, I guessed wrong. Right now we're down to about 718 expired or terminated listings. This lauragwyn.com is a blog. Every day we upload articles educating the public, whether you're a buyer or a seller. And in this upper right-hand corner, there is a free buyer or seller guide. There's one for millennial. We also have those available in Spanish and Russian. If you need them, I can just quickly send those to you. You'll always have monthly market updates on our business YouTube channel, as well as homes and videos and things like that. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of taste of how we do business. Let's check our notes and make sure that I covered everything. Yeah, primarily we just need your name, address, mobile text, home address, phone number if you have one, email, and then get on getting your pre-approval. We can help you obtain that if you need it. And then your criteria. If we look like somebody that you want to do business with, you can go to our Calendly link, which is calendly.com/Laura Gwyn. And we'll put that on this video for you. So I hope that helps. I hope you'll consider interviewing us for the job and allow us to help you with your next purchase. Buying property sight unseen or being the first one there, you know, early bird gets the win is what we say. And you have to be quick. You have to be quick and you have to be efficient and you have to have good relationships. So if you would like us on your team to help you secure your next home, please contact us, 503-585-0802, or you can just go ahead and book an appointment on my Calendly link to Zoom call and interview us direct. Have a great day.